Sugar Pie, you are looking at a chart. You are also my baby doll, baby cake. And this is a pulse on top with the Ethereums on the bottom. Ethereum launched at the start and it had teething issues. There was a pump and the dump. Now, of course, Ethereum is a unicorn. You see this price for Ethereum, that is 10x above its ICO price. It came back near it, it never went down, and then it swooped up. This total period was about, I think, here we go, 350 days. This is 6 months, sorry. And then this is another 6 months here. But it took about 6 months to clear the first zone. For Pulse, we are about just over 3 months now. We are like here. Now, I don't know what happens next. I don't know. I hope, I'm just drawing squiggly lines on the chart. If this goes to zero, it's on you. I hope we swoop it and then we continue. That's what I hope we do. Now, we don't always get what we hope in this world, but it is interesting just to see what happens with the layer 1 chain. We are copying Ethereum. A lot of EVMs out there. There are no VCs. It is not a security. It's a finished product. So it's completely different. But this is what we're dealing with. And this is the actual chart of it right now. Did you know something here? Did you know Vitalik was dumping a lot of Ethereum here? But you didn't know that. He was actually getting rid of a lot of Ethereum. Now, of course, Vitalik, the real-life alien, could not possibly imagine that Ethereum was going to grow into the hundreds of billions of dollars of valuation. He's just a little alien, landed here from Mars, trying to make his way in this world with the human monkeys. Us is trying to enslave us. That's okay. We got peanut brains. It was bound to happen by someone. Vitalik was dumping. If I recall, he dumped, and this was a lot of money back then. He dumped for like $180,000 to $250,000. Now, if you notice, Ethereum was only $1 here. Ethereum's right a price. It's going to head towards over $2,000 one day again. So it was around $1 here. So you can imagine he sold like 200,000 to 400,000 ETH, like bang. And it was very small back then. But this is what happened, and it went up anyway. It went up anyway. But, you know, we can't use this and anchor our expectations because Ethereum is a unicorn. There's Bitcoin and there's Ethereum. These inventions were just so great, so marvelous that they add to humanity. We can do a lot with them. We've unlocked human potential and demand. We might be living through the ghost fractal of this because Ethereum had teething issues to get through and then it went up. Now, what will everybody do? Unfortunately, you're going to have to just be careful with this one because everyone is going to grab their ruler and go, you know what? Oh, when Ethereum went back to where it launched, $3, to the very top of the cycle, what's its return? It is a 491x. 491x when you went back to the top. So 491x, if you go to PulseX and PulseChain, Hex, these charts right here, you know, 491x on top of the day one sack. I mean, that's a long way. That is, 0.04. It's like 4 cents for PulseX. Now, I know as soon as you hear that, you're like, there's no chance. There's no chance just giving that. But I don't know, man. We don't know what can happen. Things can turn around, but just think about your expectations when it comes to this one because you need a lot of money coming in. You know, you're going to have to think about the liquidity required, the type of market conditions and environment. But just know that this type of move has happened before. There was a different level of liquidity required to push it up that far. And of course, it had no competition. So you're just going to have to think about in your mind, what's a lowest case for you? And where do you see yourself being comfortable if the worst case hits? That's what you have to do. Because when you invest, when you allocate capital anywhere, the market's going to do what it's going to do. You have absolutely no control. You can kick and you can scream. You can't impact much at all. So it's wherever it lands, you're going to have to take it. So, and with the ongoing SEC case and all this other, the circus clown show going on, I'd like you to know that the community fights back. It's not silent. There are a lot of influencers. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, bell button, and all. I've gone through so many other coins. I've made videos. I've shown you Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, XRP. I've gone through so much. Yes, the guys on top are great, but there's not that many. I'd like to say to you something. You know, BNB, it relies on Binance. Do you see 30 BNB influencers out there tweeting? No. XRP has some, and they all wear suits. XRP. Cardano has a very few. There's Cardano ladies. Very small, friends. Very small. Compared to PulseChain, PulseX, Hex, the crowd and the community, it's just like night and day difference. Can't even compare it. Dogecoin, Solana, Tron. As you go down the list, they disappear. There's no big Polkadot community who's streaming and doing all these conferences. There isn't. Litecoin, the only person who owns Litecoin is literally my neighbor, still waiting for the next Litecoin halvening. I mean, it was so boring, he doesn't even know it had a Litecoin halvening recently. Shiba Inu has. But as we go down the list, they're gone, man. They're all gone, friends. Uniswap, they have no unicorns. Stellar, they have no one. Chainlink, I'm basically the Chainlink dude now. I'm not even a Chainlink dude. Well, I love Chainlink. Of course, I'm a Chainlink dude. But you see, Monero, there's not much out there. The competition is very low. That's why I believe in my heart that you're seeing that price is down, but there's more to it, man. There's more to it. What I think is going to happen by the time the next cycle plays out, when Bitcoin and Ethereum go to where they're going to go, I feel that there will be new people coming in who are very smart, intelligent, wise, who will look at existing communities in crypto. They will look at cults. They will look at the network effects. They'll probably watch my videos. They'll probably click like, subscribe, button. They'll probably press the belly button. They're probably going to look through and they're going to figure out how to grow a big community. You know, what's interesting, it's not even a secret now. We all know. But the execution is very important. The marketing, the branding, how you do things, the decisions you make. So it's not the end of the world, but it means the competition will get more fierce. Because, you know, when you're the only cult in town, it's easy to recruit everybody. It's so easy. But when there's 5 cults in town, you're like, oh man, who do I follow? Because with each cult, you're not allowed to go venture anywhere out. Tongue in cheek, of course. You're going to see more wise leaders come in. Just to give you an example, when Bitcoin was made, then Ethereum came, all right? And then Richard Hart looked at Bitcoin and looked at Ethereum. So think about his IQ level adapting to what was brought on by Bitcoin and Ethereum. He adapted it and he morphed it, made it more cool, fun, sexy, exciting. So is it possible someone does that to the existing one? Yeah, it could be possible, but it might be a while as well. It doesn't mean like don't participate. I'm just sharing with you that this is all part of a cycle. This is all part of a bigger puzzle piece, all right? It's part of a show. It's part of a game. The game is not game over yet. I'll tell you when it's game over. We're nowhere even close to being at game over. So these things are outside of our control. But you know what's not outside of our control? Our friendship, me and you. For the PulseChain and Hex community, right? In the legal world, there is something called the Amicus Brief. And I did not know what that is. I looked it up. It means you are literally, I'm not making this up, you are a friend of the court. Welcome, welcome, aren't you, my friend? Thank you very much. Take a seat over there, friends. Keep your back straight. Elbows pointy, please. And your ears perked up. If the whole community bands together, we will let the SEC know that they look extremely corrupt and incompetent. I don't know how it works. All the legal dudes, they always try to poop on everyone's party. They say, oh no, the judge will never look at that. Oh no, this will never happen. Excuse me. There are child molesters going out into the free world after like 1.5 months. But somebody who ties their shoe wrong goes away for 5 years. Don't tell me that you know exactly how a judge is going to read anything. You don't know anything. You're part in the system. You're in the bubble. What do you possibly know? You're just fighting with words. You know what you can't fight with? 150,000 people, because you don't have them when you're the SEC. You're literally a circus. People are coming to see you with your little honky honk nose and your cream pied face. Oh, we need to do a DNA test on that cream pie, by the way. I don't think it's what they claim to be. So, friend of the court, you give evidence, legal opinion, testimony to everyone. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm just letting you know, friends, there's things out there. It's not just they come and they point the gun. They tell you to get on your knees and they say, we're going to spank you, shut down the Hex building, shut down the PulseChain building, get the HR department for PulseX. Was there any sexual abuse going on there? They don't have that. This is not that story. The story is they're coming after imaginary internet websites and nodes around the world that they can't stop. Trying to put on incompetent fraud claims because they are a corrupt puppet wing arm of the US Fed trying to usher in CBDCs next. So they're trying to clean out the industry so BlackRock can come in and they get all the volume and then they can do the great big pump and dump, blame it on something and get everybody voting the power. There you go. Bob's your uncle. If I can think of this, wrestling crocodiles part-time, squeaky chair, dusty room, of course, if I can figure it out, it's happening. There will be a long list of people willing to give a Amicus Brief. Long list. I don't care what a judge may or may not say, this is not counted. I don't care. People will fight no matter what. Do you think that the people at Scientology looked at their battle with the IRS and said, oh my God, we can't take on the US government? They did. Just to let you know. Famous story. Scientology, they needed religious status to not pay tax. So what Scientology did is they got all the members to spam the IRS with suitcases, right? They were super hostile and aggressive. And you're probably thinking, but it's the US government. Just go point the big bad super soakers and the water pistols at them. Yeah, of course the US government's going to win. Wrong. They used the system against them. They kept spamming them. They targeted the head of the IRS. They kept one after the other, all these court cases coming, bang, 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 bang. And they eventually caved. They said, this isn't worth it, man. I don't want to go through this for years. It's funny. Isn't it funny how the overlords, the deep state, okay, just let you know, friends. There's about 200 to 400 deep state insiders out there, right? Of the top of the food chain, top of the world, right? And it's funny, they have all their worker bees down there, right? They have the worker bees and the poopy heads, and then they have even more worker bees down there. And the very, very bottom, they have like the SEC, for example, the cockroaches who come and do the evil bidding. Now, what's very interesting is because everyone's trying to work their way up, they're trying to gain power, none of them have any balls. They have no testicles. They're tiny little sultanas, if you can even call them that. They don't even have ovaries. You can't even call them real women. They're reptiles. So when they get faced with hostility and ferocity and the passionate community, they back down because they don't stand for anything. Because their whole reason for getting into the industry is one of two things. Either one, give me the parachute payment. You know, you're in a parachute, which is just, I'm going to do service for like 20, 30 years and then they give me the pension. It's either that or they're trying to work their way up to the deep state insiders and get close to the UFO tech. That's it. Why else would you join government? You're either trying to amass power or you're just trying to cruise it out sideways to get your pension payment. That's it. Okay? So when people come and start attacking you, you're like, oh man, this is not worth it. Because you're not at that deep state level insider now. You're getting attacked. You know it's not worth it. That's why they always cave. You can't pay them enough to deal with it. That's why they cave. So here I am, just to repeat to the PulseChain and Hex community. Everyone's testimony and expertise will be lengthy explanations of how nobody was frauded by Richard Hart and the SEC looks corrupt and incompetent. Yes, they are corrupt and incompetent. Use those two words. I'm telling you right now, corrupt and incompetent, friends. Corruption means they are actively going their out of the way to hurt the people. Incompetent means they don't know what they're doing, but they're still hurting the people. Both of them are bad, and they do both. They just pretend that they're only incompetent. Don't believe their lies. Someone who's corrupt will always want you to think that they're incompetent. Isn't that true? Golly gee, I had no idea. Oh, did I just accidentally point my gun at your direction and fire? Oh, my finger must have slipped. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeez, we just forgot to check on him for 19 hours while we let all the other doors unlock in the other jail cells. Oh, sorry, we were so incompetent that one night. All right. So I'm telling you now, the court case, November 28th. I think any language that comes out beforehand, we don't have to have any expectations of them, but the community would welcome them because people rally behind them, man. There's a force that comes out, friends, a community and a backing that comes out that pushes this forward. And my final message to you, I'm reading this message from Johnny Sachs. Johnny Sachs is saying, once upon a time, there was a huge community effort to get Hex listed on Coinbase. Everyone banded together and put together short clips of themselves advocating for a hex listing. It was kicked off by Sir Johnny Chaos. God bless this man. Okay?
And it's an interesting...
Look, I want to let you know, when you are this passionate and loud, don't expect people to listen. You don't want them to listen. Your goal is to get people to look in your direction. That's what your first goal is. Once people start looking in your direction, you have planted the seed in their mind that you exist. From there, the network sprawls like a tree going, its roots going into the soil. And that's when you've established yourself as a force that's going to keep existing and cementing itself. And then you can start to become more relevant. The community is very aware of this. And you know what you're also aware of? The prices are down. But you know what? We still have friends. We always have our friendship. We're going to wait for better times. They might be here. We just don't know it yet. Catch you in the next one.